Hey boo, good morning. It's Sunday and I did not get to get y'all a reading vlog, so let's just do a few days in my bookish life. I officially start my full time on Monday, so things just got a little hectic. Last week was good. I actually ended up finishing Where Sleeping Girls Lie, and I really enjoyed it. I'll probably do a 1-minute review of it on my TikTok, talk a little bit more about it at the end of the month wrap up. So yeah, I also started Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and I have that on my Kindle, and it's not a library loan, so time is unlimited, and I really want to savor the story because it's so wholesome and good for me. I had also picked up Little Rot from the library, and unfortunately it is a 14-day loan, but I did purchase the audiobook, and the mood reading is mooding, and I'm just not in the mood to read it. So I'm going to take it back to the library, and when I'm ready, listen to it primarily on audio, because I only have like 6 hours left of it. 5 left of it. Let's see. I also started Wish of the Wicked again, and I'm enjoying it, but I have the physical book and it's mine. I own it, so I'm going to take my time with it. So where am I today? I am reading Midnight Rooms by Donyae Cole, and I believe this is a debut by this author. And so far, I'm about 30-something% in. I read the first quarter on my Kindle, and now I'm listening to it because I got to do this run. It's hot, y'all. It's hot. And I got some other stuff to do. I got to take my kids somewhere. I got to clean up. I got to pack my lunch for tomorrow, my daughter's lunch for tomorrow. So I got a lot going on. So anyway, we are in Midnight Rooms. We are following, and I didn't read the synopsis, so I will edit this out if I'm telling too much of the story. But in this story, we are following Arabella, and it is the 1840s. And for what I know, her parents are deceased, and she resides with her aunt and her uncle, and then they betrothed her to settle off a debt. This gentleman that she is married to is kind of strange, but she's liking him. She's feeling like he's handsome and things like that. So the story hasn't taken to the bridge of what is going to be the main plot. We're just getting a setup of what's going on. It is told in the third person, so we're only getting introspection of what Arabella may be feeling. And yeah, that's where we are with this. And I'm looking forward to continuing to reading. I'm gonna check in when I'm a little further in the book or when I'm doing something bookish.
This is a boy, or a girl. This is a girl.
How do you know?
It would have a dent in the belly of it, so it had like a little indent on the boardwalk.
Foolish. Just as she had been foolish to run up the stairs that led her there, she moved forward, unable to go back. She stumbled. There was no step where there should have been. She would need to be more careful. She must have reached the top, but there was still no light. Forward. No choice. The dark closing around her, cold and vast. She reached her hand out, felt the wall, centered herself, and stepped forward.
Like getting up super early to work. So I've also had a lot going on. So my reading has been slow, partly due to that, but another part due to I'm 58% in the book, and Arabella is just now figuring out what's kind of going on, or she has just started to care. That shit is weird. And honestly and truly, I never read the synopsis, so I don't know what kind of story this is, but it's giving horror. And yeah, so I loving the writing style, but the writer seems to have the story is told in third person, so the writer seems to have, like, I feel like I'm lost on the concept of time while I'm reading this story. I don't know if that makes sense. I understand Arabella being naive, but she's not that young. She's 26. And at some point, I expect something more out of her. At least a wondering on what the hell is going on. And she's just now wondering what's going on. And she's just now actively investigating it. So yeah, I'm struggling with, I like the sentence structure. And I like the way that the story is being told. But I'm struggling with how the events seem to be hazy or foggy. And I don't know if the writer is doing that on purpose, because it's giving us more of an introspect for Arabella. So it's my hope that I finish this tonight, and my next check-in, I'll be done with it. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. Yeah. So we're gonna go to the library today. I got my big bag of library books. So here's the deal. I'm on this, I don't want to say minimalism, because that's gonna make it seem like I'm trying to get rid of everything, and I'm not. I'm just trying to stop over consuming. And so even over consuming, not just with the things that I put in my body, but the things that I purchase and take. I'm gonna get a deal regardless, but I'm trying to stop having so much, because it's just so cluttering. And that might include library books. So I go in the library a lot, and I'm like, ooh, let me just pick this out. Ooh, let me pick this out. And I don't need it. So I'm starting over, because I got like so many books on hold at Libby, and I have this many books at a time, and 9 times out of 10 I don't even read them. So let me just show you what I'm returning to the library. The Mary Monroe books, I'm just not in the mood to read them, based on some of her books that I've read before. I just don't want to be in that space right now. So I probably will read them, but I think I'll read them more in the fall. I don't think I'm going to read Heaven Breaker in the 14 days that I'm supposed to read it, so I'm going to go ahead and return that. The Black Girl Survives, this one. I didn't know that this was a series of short stories, and I don't want to read short stories right now. The Island Witch, I actually did try this one. Little Rye, I was so excited for this one. It is a 14-day loan. It's actually due on Tuesday. I didn't like it. I got the audiobook and I didn't like it. And Tender Beasts, I'm just not in this. Well, I think I'm gonna keep Tender Beasts. So of this haul, here are the books that I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep Tender Beasts. I'm gonna like try to do like 3 books a week. I'm going to keep Summer on Highland Beach because I'm really looking forward to reading this on my next beach trip. And I have The Unwedding by Ali Condi. I can't remember who recommended that I read it, but I'm going to read it. So I'm going to check first to see if these books are on Kindle Unlimited. If they are on Kindle Unlimited, I'm going to unhaul them. If they're not, I'm going to keep them.
Taking it personally, or at least I am. Maybe you won't read it that way, right? We all have different experiences when we're reading, but I did not expect this book to do what it just did. Do what it just did to me. 5 stars. 5 stars. Pick it up, read it.
So I feel like I'm just gonna wrap up the vlog. Here in this reading vlog, I actually read 2 books. One of them is by Jason Reynolds. It is called For Everyone, and I got this recommendation from Kayla. Thank you, girl, for telling us to go read it. I went right to the library, I picked it up, and I literally read it sitting in the parking lot waiting on my Target order to fill. I gave that one 5 stars. And I recommended it to my cousins and my sister because everything in there reminds me of them. Even though he was 26 or 28 in the story, writing to his 28-year-old self as a 40-year-old, that still applies to me. And I'm going to recommend my husband read it. So that was an awesome poem, nonfiction. It was listed in my library as youth nonfiction, to motivate you to just keep going. And sometimes we need stories like that. So thank you for that one, Kayla, from Kayla Bookish Vibes. I also finished Midnight Rooms, and that was by Donyae. And it took me a while to come up with a star rating based on the story. So I actually got on TikTok and I did a little TikTok review, and I didn't give it a star rating, but I think upon thinking about it, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. It is a gothic horror story. We are following Arabella in what was a marriage to settle debt between her aunt and her uncle. Turned out to be a horror type situation. And there was this impending doom and gaslighting from the people inside Arabella that didn't sit well with me. And I don't think that's a fault of the story. I think that that was a fault of myself, because I be liking my main characters to be strong. And she just wasn't, and she was 26. So I struggled with that on a personal level. I also struggled with the pacing of the story, because the story felt like taking a bad trip. You were on a bad trip, and I don't know how I feel about reading and feeling like I'm trudging through mud to get to the point. It was only 330 pages, but it read like a 500-page book, and I don't know if I like that. But some of the positives were that I was fully immersed in the story. I did feel like Arabella did develop as a character. The writing style was very lyrical and beautiful, and it definitely gave me that gothic horror element. So I gave it a 3.5 because I think it was a solid read, but I would not choose to reread it.
So have you read any of the books in this vlog? What did you think about this vlog? Love you. See you in the next one. Bye.